Pinball circuit activated.
Ooh, taxi.
We're back with Taxi. It's been about a month since I touched this game. I won't bore you with all the details, but we've had a lot going on at the house here. A lot of projects I had to deal with. I refinished a poker table for upstairs, got that repainted. We had 2 different graduations and all the graduation parties, and a bunch of work to do in the back, yard, irrigation work and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a while since I touched this game, but we're ready to get going again. So to update you on that playfield issue that we had before, what I've done, or what I will do, is cut out both of the inserts that are ghosted and fill those with clear to get them flat. And then we're gonna try down the road to repaint those inserts and then clear the whole playfield again and see what we end up with. This game, what we're gonna do hopefully today, we're gonna get all of the connectors labeled, get all the boards out of it, get the playfield out of it, and start gutting this cabinet. My goal is to get the cabinet gutted today, so we can start sanding it back and start with the structural repair. So, we'll be going. I like to label all the connectors with where they came from. It just helps me to not get confused, especially on a game like this that has a lot of boards. And as you can see, a lot of connectors. There's also connectors that just go in between the boards, which can be really confusing if you don't get them labeled right. So I just like to do that. Makes it a little bit more idiot proof. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna scan around and just take this video so that I document where all of the harness little holder rings are, so they get them all back in the correct positions. There's one right there when I go to redo this and put this back together. So get this board out. Day 1 progress. We've got topper, cabinet hardware holder. Playfield is out. Light box, light board, and all of the other bits that need to be polished and cleaned for the cabinet. We've got the tumbler going with the back box hardware in it. We have the rails off, and they're getting a Goo Gone bath to get the rest of the double-sided tape off. The head is there, gutted completely, except for a little bit of the grounding strap that I will take out later. Here's the cab. We had a little issue over here. You can see there's a void in the plywood. I don't know if that's why it let go or not, but we had an issue there when we were removing a rail, so I'll fill that and fix that. Other side did better. There was a little spot here that pulled out, but the rest of it's okay. And we'll get that all taken care of. And our harnesses are over here in a simple green bath. So they're gonna hang out there for a few hours and they'll get hung up, and the boards are been washed with soapy water and they're currently drying. So that's enough for today. This is the right side of the head. And I think that's the biggest void I've found in a pinball machine yet. So that was all covered up with just the top veneer, but it was a huge hole underneath, which obviously is a problem. The only reason I knew it was there was because this was cracking a little bit, and under here I could see it was hollow, so I started kind of excavating, and it goes all the way back to there. So we'll get that filled and fixed. Quick update. The libation of the evening. And basically I've got the cabinet, the first round of stripping done. You can see there's still some yellow on it, which will come off when I sand it further. But right now I'm working on, this is Bondo fiberglass. Working on getting all the big things filled. There really was only one area of separation that I clamped, which was that rear, this corner back here. So I glued that and clamped it, so everything else is solid. There's a lot of just like every corner had the corner of it taken out. So just gonna do Bondo fiberglass. I've also, if you notice, taken out this entire channel support, and I'm gonna rebuild it with oak strips that I've got to go buy, and I'm going to need to clean up this channel a little bit more so it sits flush. I'll glue that in and clamp it all the way around, and I'm going to rip this down to be the right height because otherwise it's too tall, you can see. And then once we get that done, we should be ready to sand further and do the rest of the Bondo. I'm going to have to clean up. The edges are really ratty, so we'll see if we can clean all that up once we get a little bit further in the repair process. The head's over here. Head also has a lot of corner issues, as you can see. I haven't done anything with the head yet. I'm going to do that probably tomorrow and get that all done. Progress update. There was a lot more work that had to be done on the bottom here than what I originally thought. All of the supports for the floor were pretty much rotted out and destroyed. There was a few little pieces hanging on, but I thought it wasn't worth trying to save. So I chiseled everything out, and I got some hardwood stock from Home Depot, ripped it down to the correct width here. And then basically I've spent the last several days gluing it down. And then also you can see here, there were some significant voids in the plywood here that I filled with epoxy. And I really just did that to give it some more structural strength so it would stop kind of chipping out and destroying itself. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sand this flush, and then I'm gonna go back with my fiberglass Bondo and Bondo in all of the edges here, because you can see the edges are kind of ratty, and I'm concerned that if I bevel this back to get to a decent look for this to paint it in this state, the bevel's going to be really deep, and it's going to cut into my surface here for the art. So I'm just going to go ahead and rebuild all of these edges, and then I can sand them square and then re-bevel them to get it right. So that's the next step. Here we are after a couple of rounds of sanding and filling. You can see I've pretty much removed and gotten that edge built up to where I can bevel it. I'll bevel this by hand and get that done. The corners have been built back up reasonably well. There's a little bit here, but that's gonna have a corner protector on it anyway. So I think I'm just gonna bevel that and be done with it. It's not worth it. So the next steps are to finish sanding the fiberglass Bondo that's on here. There's some over here where we had that big void. And then I will go over the entire playfield cabinet with 220 grit. And after that, I'm gonna take glazing material, which is that U-Paul glaze you've seen me use before. And I'm just gonna glaze the cabinet sides in front to get rid of as much grain as I can. And then it should be ready to prime. So the rest of this process, this sanding, filling stuff is pretty boring, so I'm not gonna video it. And I'm gonna cut this video here. And next time, I'll pick it up after I've got it filled, glazed, sanded back, and primed. And we'll do the paint work and the decaling. So, thanks for watching.